Hey, I'm Nico, aka the cheap version of Steve Gaming, and welcome to this new challenge video. Last time we tackled Super Mario 3D World and actually tried to beat it without collecting any coins. Did we succeed? Did we fail? Check that out at the end of this video, because today we're gonna dust out the good old Nintendo DS, pop in the copy of New Super Mario Bros. We have lying around, and see if we can actually get to the end of this game without collecting any coins. Here's the basic rules. You see this little coin counter in the top left corner? It says 0. Well, it must stay that way. New Super Mario Bros. Also features 3 star coins in every stages, and although they don't add up to your coin counter, they still have their own counter on the level select screen, so we want this to remain at 0 too. Now that the rules have been set, let's see if we can actually rescue Princess Peach without being able to afford a date with her afterwards. Here we go. World 1-1 should probably be easy as it's the first level in the game. Well, these first 2 jumps are pretty tricky to begin with. You must use those blocks here to hop in between those 2 coins bunch. The second jump requires you to crouch jump by being super gentle with the A button. But besides that, this level is pretty easy. And the same can be said about World 1-2. Just take it slow and you'll be good. There's no problem at all here. World 1-3 features some shaky mushrooms, but no coins are close to them, so you're all good. World 1-Tower is pretty straightforward at first. There are those moving platforms, but if you take your time, you can avoid any coins up until this part. Here's the problem though. So you're supposed to jump above those 3 coins and then slide right under these 2, but sadly, no matter how many times I tried this, it cannot be done that way. Well, there you go guys, the quest is over. New Super Mario Bros. DS cannot be beaten. Thanks for watching, I'll see you in... Nah, dude, I'm messing with you. There's actually a couple of levels that feature secret paths that can lead to item houses and other crazy stuff. So in World 1-2, if you do just that, you'll get a secret path to an item house. Inside this house you can get a mushroom, a fire flower, a spiny shell, or a mini mushroom. You see where this is going, right? Mario is too fat to fit in between those coins, but what if we got a mini mushroom to help us out? The great thing about the mini mushroom in the new Super Mario Bros. Series is that it makes Mario jump like he's on the freaking moon. It really changes the gravity and makes you glide, which will prove to be really useful throughout our quest, starting with our annoying jump here. And there we go, it's done! But don't rejoice that early, because the second jump proves to be as annoying as the first one. The problem comes from the fact that, for some weird reason, Mario automatically collects a coin when bumping his head on the top part of this block. From what I get, if you bump on the top part of the block, you get to collect the coin that is located on top of it, which isn't what we want here. We can easily solve this issue by making sure to bump our head on the very right corner of the block where there is no coins up above. Doing that gives us enough speed to make it in between those 2 coins and achieve the ultimate victory royale. Can you believe it only took 4 levels to get to a difficult part? This game might not be as easy as it seems. Defeating Bowser Jr. is pretty easy though, just ground pound him 3 times and you're done. World 1-4 is pretty easy to do if you keep your mini mushroom, and from now on I'll be keeping the mini mushroom as I think it really will be required to avoid all coins in most levels. World 1-5 features bouncing mushrooms which bounce you super high as Mini Mario. The only difficult part is here where you gotta land in between the coins and that star coin, but it's easy to do if you just time it right. World 1-Castle doesn't feature any difficult part at all, just jump above or go under the coins and you're good to go. And beating Bowser is pretty easy too, just jump above him, hit the switch, and on that note we completed World 1. Yeah, only 7 more to go. World 2 is the desert world. Yay, gotta love those. World 2-1 is first on our list and features a couple of tight jumps in between the pokies and the coins near them. These jumps can be nerve-wracking, but they're all possible. Sadly, this last jump at the end isn't, but the gaming gods were with us this time, because this block over here contains a P-switch which turns those coins into blocks, so we can just walk over the pokey and finish the level. World 2-2 is really easy, all you gotta do is avoid the spinies that Lakitu throws at you. World 2-3 only has one tricky part, where there's this giant piranha plant surrounded by coins. Make a really precise jump in between everything and you're good to go. World 2-4 is pretty easy and kinda boring. There's this jump here that usually requires you to push a P-switch, but I used my good old buddy Paragoomba and I made it. And yet another reason why Goomba is not useless. World 2-Tower has this part where you're supposed to use that rope to go above the block, but sadly a bunch of coins block our path. As Mini Mario, you can bounce on the dry bone to slide just in between the coin and the block. It's not easy, but it's possible. The battle against Bowser Jr. is, once again, pretty easy. World 2-5 is next, and there's no real annoying coins, just make sure to dodge these coin towers that jump every time there's a ba in the song, and it's pretty easy. World 2-6 is the first auto-scroller level of the game, and basically you want to take it easy for this one. Just let the plants come and go and dodge the coins that the moving platforms crosses, and that's it. World 2-Castle features those rolling spiky boulders, but they're easily avoidable and they're usually far away from the coins, so there's not gonna be any big trouble here. The boss requires you to ground pound it 3 times and then you're done. I guess now's the perfect time to tell you how the multiple paths in this game work. So basically, when you complete the castle in World 2, you'll go right to World 3, but if you are Mini Mario, you'll go straight up to World 4. This can prove to be useful in our quest, as if there was one world that was impossible to complete, we could just try with the other world. Hopefully, this will be of great help in the quest. So I went back to a random level, I completed it with a double-digit end timer, got to a mushroom house and got a mushroom to go back to the castle and complete it as normal Mario. So we now have access to both World 3 and 4, so let's go. World 3-1 will be our first stop, and to be fair, I have nothing to say about this one. You swim underwater and dodge coin bubbles and cheap cheeps. World 3-2 features this really obnoxious mushroom that tilts left and right, but a couple of tries is all that is needed to complete it. World 3-Tower is surprisingly the easiest tower in this run so far. Just keep climbing the fences to the top and that's it. World 3-3 is another underwater level, but just like 3-1, it doesn't feature any danger whatsoever. World 3-Ghost House requires you to hit some switches to create a staircase to go to the top. It's kind of a maze to navigate like all ghost houses, but it's pretty easy anyways. World 3-Castle is really easy. Most of the coins can be easily avoidable. Defeating the boss is super easy and requires 3 well-timed ground pound, and on that note, World 3 is done. Wow, this one was really fast and really easy. Even if we can already get to World 5 now, let's just try World 4 to see if it's possible as well, shall we? World 4-1 just requires you to go under or above the spiders while dodging coins. It's not that difficult. World 4-2 can be a little bit tricky with those purple mushrooms that tilt left and right, although this mechanic proves to be quite useful to dodge some of those annoying coins. World 4-3 is an underwater auto-scroller where you gotta dodge this giant eel, but it's not very difficult. The real scary part is over here, where there's a bajillion coins and nowhere to hide. Well, technically we can still hide down there, out of the screen, to dodge those annoying coins, and on that note, this level is now done. World 4-Tower has this really tricky part here, where there's 4 coins and a block. Jumping under the coins is impossible because of the lack of space, and we gotta hurry up because lava is slowly rising under us. We were pretty lucky once again here, because this mystery block contains a mushroom. Here's the game plan. We jump under the block and use the low gravity mechanic to pass under the coin. It worked! The Bowser Jr. boss fight is one annoying one because you need to carefully ground pound the green shell to kick it back on Bowser Jr. Do it 3 times and he's dead. World 4-4 is up next and features wigglers walking left and right. The only tricky part is over here where there are coins everywhere. I don't know how to explain how I did this jump, as it seemed to be quite random, working sometimes and not working other times, but I believe it has something to do with the running speed. So if I had to give out one tip here, just keep running and eventually for some reason you won't fall down. I can't explain this one, guys. World 4-House features one big problem, and it's this part here. So you're supposed to go up the pipe to continue in the level, but to do so, you're supposed to change those blocks into coins using the P-switch. But sadly, we don't want coins. This proved to be quite a problem, but I had one idea I really needed to test before calling it impossible. New Super Mario Bros. Contains a power-up called the Blue Shell. And when you run with this power-up equipped, Mario hides in the shell and you can break blocks you touch. So I went back to an easy level, ended it with the clock ending with the double digit 33, got myself an item house again, and got a blue shell. Then I went back to the ghost house. Can you believe this crazy idea actually worked out? We just break the blocks and we don't collect coins. Who would have thought the blue shell would be so useful? I'm loving it right now. Luckily, the remainder of the level can be easily completed even without a mini mushroom, and on that note, this ghost house is finally done. World 4-5 is super easy as it almost features no coins. World 4-6 requires a mini mushroom because there are way too many coins to dodge as Big Mario. Once that is done, this level won't be much of a challenge. World 4-Castle is not memorable as it features nothing special, although I gotta admit the giant Goomba boss took forever to kill, and at one point I really wondered if my ground pound actually did some damage to it, but a million hits later, he's dead. Who knew giant Goombas were so strong? And yet another proof of Goomba skill. These reasons why he's not useless, they just keep piling up, my dude. World 4 is now done, and we're halfway through the game. Can we do it? World 5 is the mandatory snow world. Let's hope this one's possible. 5-1 starts off easy. It does feature a couple of annoying jumps, but nothing that will ruin your day. For World 5-2, if you take your time and you time your jumps to avoid those spike tops, you're gonna be good. 5-Tower is next, and it features a vertical auto-scroller level. Basically, if you take your time and avoid the spiky boulders, you should be good to go. The only problem you're gonna get with World 5-3 is caused by those annoying spiky charging dudes. What are those supposed to be anyways? Snailicorns? What the heck? So dodge the snailicorns and avoid the coins, and this level is a done deal. 5-Ghost House is pretty easy up until this part with the pink platform. It first starts off by rising slowly, but then decides to start shaking vigorously left and right. This proved to be quite annoying when trying to dodge some coins, and at one point the platform just violently falls down before rising up at the same speed. So stay close to the left wall and you should be okay. World 5-4 features mushrooms that go up or down when standing on them. Keeping that in mind, dodging coins is pretty easy and this level is done. Get ready to bounce from one dry bone to another in World 5-Castle. This one's full of moving treadmills, so you'll need to be extra careful and dodge all sorts of enemies. The boss fight against Piranha Plant is pretty easy. Just wait for it to fall down and ground pound it 3 times. And with that, World 5 is a thing of the past. Let's move on. World 6 is next, and this one starts off in a hard way. World 6-1 is home of bullet bills and narrow paths. This part over here is especially super difficult. Basically, there are so many coins that you gotta dodge to get to the top. It looks impossible at first, and a bullet bill doesn't give you enough height to make it. A wall jump seems to be pretty difficult, and then there's this giant star coin if you manage to get up there without collecting coins. To be honest, I'm glad I am playing this on the Wii U version of the game, allowing me to have save states, because this one probably took me over 50 tries. This is a pixel perfect jump you need to do right there, but eventually you will do it if you keep trying. Once you're up there, there's another hard jump to get to fit right in between that little gap, but this one is way easier, so you should be good. At least World 6-2 is an easy one, and especially having a mini Mario as he can run on water. This is kinda cool looking. World 6-Tower seems easy at first, but soon you'll realize that doing this jump as Mini Mario is impossible. It's actually the first time in this run where the low gravity mechanic actually is the problem for us. Going back there with a normal size Mario seems to be the only way of actually being fast enough to outrun the giant spike, but now the problem comes from the fact that Mario is now too big and hits the coins. Eventually I managed to get the perfect jump, and there you go, this hurdle is complete. It wasn't easy though, let me tell you. World 6-3 is easy until this part near the end where you gotta keep doing wall jumps to avoid those coins on top of those little platforms. World 6-4 is home of another one of those pixel perfect jumps. You know, gotta love World 6 so far, it keeps getting more difficult. World 6-Tower number 2 only has one tricky part where you gotta wall jump off a spike, but it's easy so no worries. World 6-5 features those tornadoes that you want to avoid at all costs, because once you're in those, you can't really control Mario anymore and you will probably grab some coins or get hit by a cheap, and we don't want that. World 6-6 has those springboards that are pretty annoying because you can't really see the coins above you when using them, but you can avoid them by trying. Sadly, this last part here requires you to use those green pipe cannons, and once inside them, you can't really control where you go, and sadly, there are tons of coins. There's no other way of going up but those pipes, so this level is actually impossible for our quest, meaning that we won't get to complete World 6. Alas, the run is not over, because remember that when we completed World 5 as Mini Mario, we got a shortcut to World 7, meaning it might still be possible to complete the game coinless. Let's try it, shall we? World 7-1 is pretty easy, because all you gotta do is take it easy on the moving platforms and dodge a couple of coins here and there. World 7-Ghost House is next, and it's some sort of maze with 5 different doors you can take. Eventually you'll reach this part over here, which is full of spooky coins, but use the P-switch to turn them into blocks and run super fast and you should be okay. World 7-2 is a super boring one where you need to stand on that platform and get to the top. Just go left and right to dodge enemies and coins, and this one will be history. World 7-3 keeps the streak of boring levels, cause in this one you literally hang out on Wiggler until the level is over. Just be careful of the Goomba because they could bounce you on some coins, but besides that, it's done. World 7-Tower only contains one spooky part with moving platforms with spikes and a bunch of coins. It looks way more difficult than it actually is, to be fair. World 7-4's only difficulty comes in the form of not seeing above you. See, you need to use those bouncing pads to progress in the level, but doing so means you won't be able to see what's above you, and sometimes what's above you is a deadly coin. At least you can dodge them by being very careful. World 7-Castle contains a couple of spooky jumps that you need to make with precise timing, because the floor is moving with you, so you want a floor to be there when you jump and where you land. The timing is key here. The boss fight against this Lakitu looking guy is pretty easy, so no worries. And with that, World 7 is officially done. Only one world left. Welcome to World 8-1, a spooky looking level featuring annoying crows that want you dead. But you know, with how small Mario is, they probably think he's food, so you can't really blame them. The level is not that difficult if you take your time, so just be careful and you're gonna be okay. World 8-2 features those annoying pink gliding beetles, but they can easily be dodged, so no worries. And now, welcome to 8-Tower, which features those tiny moving platforms. Jumping from one platform to another ain't really difficult, as there ain't that many coins here. This big platform is required to go up, so a very well-timed wall jump is all that is needed. But sadly, this next part is quite a problem. I'll let you take a good look at it for a second. Yep, this is exactly what you think of. A dead end for this quest. There is actually no way you can go through that little path without collecting all of those coins. And sadly, you cannot go to the left. I'm truly disgusted right now, but here's the harsh truth. You have to complete 8-Tower to keep playing the game. There is no secret exit that can be used to skip it. There's no secret paths that you can buy with star coins. So basically, this is the end of our quest. Can you believe that after all those very difficult parts, those pixel perfect jumps, those tricky ghost houses, we are stuck here? So close to the end of the game, so close to my boy Bowser. But sadly, today I'm here to tell you that no, it is not possible to beat New Super Mario Bros. DS without collecting any coins. I'm as shocked and sad as you guys here, okay? I gotta admit that I really had a blast playing this game though. It was a game that I hadn't played in years, and dodging those coins was actually a pretty fun challenge. If you want to see more challenges from me in the future, hit the like button to show me you enjoy them. You can now support me on YouTube by hitting the join button, and by doing that, you can get early access to my new video before anyone else. If you want more challenges like this one, make sure to check out this video here where I try to complete Super Mario 3D World for Wii U without collecting any coin. Tap the card right now and I'll see you in the next one.